Well, hello yet again. It is another Wednesday. I'm Jaspertine, and we're going to be ranking another shmup on the Sega Genesis. The name should have given that away. And for this week, I decided to throw a little curveball in there. A game that maybe doesn't quite fit the genre perfectly, but it sort of does. You know how it is. I'm a little sort of disjointed right now just because I was kind of trying to get everything set at the last minute here, but it's all good. Just gonna hop over here to gaming, and there we go. Now we have our game window. And we're going to jump into some Super Fantasy Zone. Turn this. Not a particularly loud game. Let's look at options. Like I said, we will be turning rapid on if it's available. Shot, bomb, special weapon, everything else is going to stay the same. So I do have a certain amount of history with the original Fantasy Zone, which I played on the Master System as a kid. This one I'm not so familiar with. Just gonna hit the 12 twin bombs for now. Rubber boots, shield, super light. Well, might as well try the big wings, I suppose. Cool. So yeah, this is more of like a free roaming game, kind of inspired by Defender if I remember correctly. So you take out all the bases. That seems a little tricky to react to. So definitely grabbing the twin bombs again. I'm gonna stick with the small wings for now. We'll see how this goes. Again, losing a little maneuverability with less speed, but not as disadvantageous as I would have thought. Hey, Kai Mega! Hello, Raiders! How you guys doing? Thank you for the follow, Mr. Warlord. Microsoft Warlord. So, yeah, we're playing Super Fantasy Zone today. I've already game overed once. Let's try the big wings again. Yeah, I have plenty of experience with, again, on the Master System. I've played that particular Fantasy Zone numerous times. This one's new for me, though. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Oh, and they're turning. Okay, that was a little easier than stage 1, actually. The barrels over the waterfall are a nice touch. Yeah, and so the longer it takes you to destroy these bases, the less money you get for them. So now we're only getting 5,000 or 500 gold for them instead of... It's true, Gaijin. In my experience with a lot of kind of Phantasy Star or Fantasy Zone games is that certain power-ups are really strong, but they go away so fast that they're almost not worth it. Oh, this is... I don't know if I approve of this. So I don't know if this shows on stream. Basically, he's only vulnerable when his mouth is open. But he's also pulling me towards him at the same time. There we go. Probably don't have enough for another... Nope. So yeah, we'll just pick up the 7-way shot just to kind of see it for a second here. And yeah, so you can buy a power-up like this. It's pretty effective. But it runs out on a timer. Meaning that to a large extent, you're kind of better off saving your money for, like, permanent upgrades, like the twin bombs or, you know, big wings. The bombs also kind of obey some degree of physics. There's like a little momentum on them, so you can kind of give them a little extra distance. I absolutely cannot see what's going on right now. I actually agree, Gaijin. I've never been a big fan of juggling the bells either. I would love to be able to visit the shop before fighting him again, but that appears to not be an option. Well, we can get right in there, but that's not really working out. Given a really small window to fight back here. Come on. Well, that was an improvement over my first attempt. Yeah, there's just something about that first boss. Can't put my finger on it, but... the second and third bosses were totally fine. Grab the shop. Now, to me, that boss was actually an improvement. A considerable improvement, in fact, over the same boss from the original game. And I can't necessarily say that about all the bosses in this, but definitely that one. Because he's both more fair and also more cool at the same time. And here we are with Mr. Vacuum Fish. Now, I'm not loving Mr. Vacuum Fish, but he's not awful either. It's kind of a neat idea for a boss. That would... Oh, I just wish the... My God. The timing on this is not great. He starts pulling you in while the large, sort of wide spread of bullets is still on the screen. And that definitely affects how you dodge those. I come back to this. All right. Part of the problem here is just the amount of space he takes up when he waves those things around. Especially when he does that. Like at some point the pattern just changes. I guess I gotta watch him to see when he changes color. The other possibility is it wants me to sit over here. Didn't love that fight. Let's bump it down to easy now, just to see. So far, not seeing a huge difference. Okay, so if I have to guess, I'd say enemies are going to have a lot less health, and that's going to be the big distinguishing factor here. Because they don't seem to be less numerous, they don't seem to be slower, they don't seem to be holding back in any sort of way, so I just have to assume that it mostly just reducing enemy health. Which I suspect would be good for that one really annoying boss. Oh, I didn't even notice the twin bombs were going up in price. That explains why I suddenly couldn't buy them at the end of the last game. back to this guy. Will easy mode help us? Seven-way definitely solves the game's biggest challenge, which is sort of lining up your shots with these really unpredictable movements of these enemies. The fact that you lose it on a time limit. Bit troublesome. Oop, oh. Okay, they move like that. Oh, no, they're gonna go. Okay, so I have to watch their eyes. When the eyes are... Oh! And again, the fact that you can't visit the shop immediately before the boss... and you have to turn to face them in order to aim at them. That wasn't the case in the old game. When you got to the bosses, you would be forced to face in one specific direction. Whoa, whoa. And there's something about this pattern. They're so much faster than you, too. Or are they? Oh, I guess they're not, but... stressing you out. Ooh, flashing light warning. The ground is electric. Also a warning. If I remember correctly, down here there's rubber boots. There we go. So now we should be able to... Yeah, okay. Programmed by Sunsoft. In the space year 623X, when a regular gravitating phenomenon was found near the planet Menon. Menon is a planet near the frontier of Fantasy's. During the voyage, the Science Patrol encountered a military troop and were attacked. Communication to the operation base in the Fantasy Zone were cut off. The military troop turned out to be the Dark Menon Force, who was planning... The Dark Menon Force has been taking over planets on their way to the Fantasy Zone, and leaving a trail of destruction behind them. With no able to defeat this deadly invasion force, the Fantasy Zone seems doomed and conquered. Opapa, the father of the hero Opa Opa, launched a counterattack to stop the Dark Menon force. His attempt turned out to be futile, Opapa and his once mighty armada have. Opa Opa, having heard of his father's faith, vowed to avenge his father's death and restore peace to the Fantasy Zone. So apparently his father was quite faithful. And yeah, that is a lot of story for Fantasy Zone. Though I do remember, I think the Master System game did have like a text crawl. Yeah, and then Space Harrier also took place in the Fantasy Zone. But for now, is not showing up again. It's doing that thing. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, where do we put that one on a list? It is, for one thing, it is such a curveball. It is just not comparable to the other games in any well, the games so far on this list. There's probably not going to be. I think it's the only Defender style cute 'em up on the platform, and there have been a few Fantasy Zone knockoffs since. Where would I put that one? I would definitely rather play Fantasy Zone than Truxton. I would also rather play it than Curse. Would I rather play it than Gaia-Res? This might not be as complicated a choice as I thought. Well, I was going to make a comment about the difficulty level in Gaia-Res, because, again, that's probably still the most challenging of the games we've played so far. Unless you count Truxton being cheap. But, I mean, Fantasy Zone is historically pretty tough itself. So, I think that's entirely fair. And so, with that, we now have a top 6 of Soldice, Thunder Force 3, Gaia-Res, Super Fantasy Zone, Curse, and Truxton. This is still a pretty good list overall. I would have to say I quite like it. I also really need to go to the bathroom right now, so I'm going to have a sit down, figure out what I'm going to play for the rest of the evening. And in the meantime, again, thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can suggest a game. You just, in the comments, I'll have a look. Might not see it right away, but I'll eventually notice. And I will be right back.